Have you ever wondered why some of the smartest people, equipped with years of expertise and access to cutting-edge resources, still make devastating errors? Why do surgeons leave instruments inside patients, pilots miss critical signs of mechanical failure, or business leaders fail to anticipate obvious market trends? Is it because they lack knowledge or talent? No. As Atul Gawande reveals in his transformative book, The Checklist Manifesto, How to Get Things Right, the answer lies in something much more unexpected, and yet profoundly simple. In a world of increasing complexity, where even the best minds are prone to error, Gawande offers a compelling insight: that the solution to failure isn't more knowledge, but a tool so basic it's often dismissed, a checklist. But not just any checklist, a well-crafted, thoughtfully designed checklist that aligns teams, organizes actions, and ensures nothing essential is forgotten. The brilliance of Gawande's work lies not just in the tool itself, but in the deeper wisdom it conveys about human limitations, teamwork, and the pursuit of excellence. At its heart, the Checklist Manifesto is a wake-up call to reevaluate how we approach the challenges of modern life. It begins with a sobering truth: as systems become more intricate, even the most skilled professionals can fall short. This is not due to ignorance or incompetence, but because our brains are simply not wired to handle the overwhelming volume of information and complexity we face daily. Consider the field of medicine. Gawande, a practicing surgeon, describes the unimaginable complexity of modern healthcare. A single patient's treatment might involve dozens of medications, procedures, and tests, each one vital, each one requiring flawless execution. Yet even the most experienced doctors can overlook critical steps. He recounts the story of a patient whose life was saved, not by a genius diagnosis or a breakthrough treatment, but by a simple surgical checklist. By ensuring that every team member followed key steps, from confirming the patient's identity to counting surgical instruments, catastrophic mistakes were avoided. This revelation led Gawande to ask, if a checklist could save lives in medicine, where else could it make a difference? One of the book's most compelling examples comes from aviation, an industry where checklists have been used for decades. Gawande recounts the harrowing story of a flight in 2009 where the plane lost both engines shortly after takeoff. The pilot and co-pilot, faced with life-or-death decisions, relied on a series of checklists to guide their actions. The result? Every passenger survived, and the event became known as the Miracle on the Hudson. In aviation, checklists are not seen as a sign of weakness, but as a hallmark of professionalism. Pilots, no matter how experienced, follow them religiously because they understand the stakes. Gawande argues that this mindset is sorely lacking in other fields, where expertise is often equated with independence and intuition. The truth, he insists, is that even the most brilliant minds benefit from structure and support. But this idea extends far beyond life-and-death scenarios. Gawande introduces us to a construction manager overseeing a multi-billion-dollar skyscraper project. For him, failure could mean structural collapse or massive financial losses. Yet by using detailed checklists, he coordinates thousands of workers, ensures safety protocols are followed, and delivers projects on time and within budget. The lesson is clear: checklists are not about micromanagement, they are about mastery. However, implementing checklists requires us to unlearn some deeply ingrained beliefs. One of the most pervasive myths Gawande tackles is the idea that experts don't need external aids. We like to imagine that skill and experience alone are enough to guarantee success. But this belief, as Gawande shows, is not just misguided, it's dangerous. Another myth is that checklists stifle creativity. On the contrary, Gawande argues they liberate us. By taking care of routine but essential tasks, checklists free our minds to focus on higher-order problems. Imagine a chef in a bustling kitchen. Without a checklist to track ingredients and timings, even the most talented cook would struggle. But with a checklist, the mundane fades into the background, leaving room for artistry and innovation. Perhaps the most profound insight from the book is this: checklists are not just about tasks, they are about communication. A good checklist fosters collaboration, ensuring that everyone involved understands their role and responsibilities. In surgery, for example, the checklist starts with a moment of connection. Team members introduce themselves, creating an atmosphere of mutual respect and accountability. This simple act can mean the difference between life and death. Now let's bring this closer to home. How can you apply the principles of the Checklist Manifesto in your own life? First, identify the areas where complexity leads to mistakes or inefficiency. Are you juggling multiple projects at work? Managing a household? Planning a major event? These are prime opportunities to introduce a checklist. Second, design your checklist thoughtfully. Gawande emphasizes that a checklist should be simple and actionable, focusing on critical steps. For instance, a business owner might create a pre-meeting checklist to ensure all stakeholders are aligned. A parent could use a checklist to streamline morning routines, reducing stress for everyone involved. Third, test and refine your checklist. Like any tool, it will need adjustments to fit your unique circumstances. Don't be afraid to iterate. Perfection is a process, not a starting point. Lastly, use your checklist as a tool for empowerment, not control. When shared with a team, a checklist becomes a means of fostering trust and accountability. It's not about catching mistakes, it's about preventing them together. On a personal note, reading the Checklist Manifesto was a humbling experience. It forced me to confront my own biases about what it means to be competent. I realized how often I had relied on memory or intuition for tasks that could have been simplified with a checklist. More importantly, it taught me that asking for help, or relying on a system, is not a sign of weakness but of wisdom. One of the most transformative shifts I experienced was in how I approached collaboration. By introducing checklists into team projects, I noticed an immediate improvement in communication and results. What had once been chaotic became streamlined, and what had once felt overwhelming became manageable. So, what's next for anyone reading this book? How can this simple tool transform your life? I challenge you to create a checklist for one area of your life today. It might be as small as planning your grocery shopping, or as ambitious as organizing a major work project. Test it, refine it, and share your results in the comments below. By embracing this practice, you'll not only improve your efficiency, you'll gain a newfound sense of clarity and control. Remember, excellence is not about perfection. It's about consistency. And remember, keep books over mind, because sometimes the simplest tools hold the deepest wisdom.